Well, hello everybody. This is Louise Eddington, the Cosmic Owl, with the weekend update. I'm going to make this a public update again because um, it's a very big weekend, and I am going to do another public video that will be about Mars in Aries for everybody. I also have to do a month ahead video, lots of videos to do. But anyway, so my hair's getting really long and I'm kind of liking it from COVID. I still haven't been for a haircut and I'm cutting my own bangs and I think I'm doing a really good job. Anyway, let's share the screen. But if you're new to my YouTube channel, please subscribe to the videos to get notified. Sorry, please subscribe and maybe like the video if you like it, because that helps with the YouTube algorithms. YouTube loves subscribes and likes, and if you really like the videos, then hit the little bell after you subscribe to get notified when I upload new videos. So this is the weekend update that I usually do just for members only. So if you would like to become a member of my Cosmic Owl community, I do at least 5 videos a week, and I do a monthly forecast ahead video also for just $5 a month is all. And now Venus has gone direct. I think I'll be writing again, so you will also get all my blog posts and things too. And there are a couple of other membership options where you also get access to more rewards for supporting my work. But just $5 a month will get you quite a lot of information and quite a lot of updates, and it helps support the work that I do and put out there in the world. You can find a link to the membership site in the description in the YouTube video or on my Facebook page. So give us a join in. So let's have a look. I love to share my screen when I do astrology updates, because then I get to point at things. So we are today on Friday, and this morning we had an awful lot happening. In fact, it's the biggest one has just happened. But Mercury over here, Mercury retrograde in Cancer was square to Ceres this morning. And Ceres is about to turn retrograde at on July the 7th. But the interesting thing is that Ceres is turning retrograde at the degree Mercury stationed retrograde at back in February the 17th, and will travel the exact same number of degrees and path back to 28 degrees Aquarius that Mercury retrograded back then as well. And now we have Mercury retrograde again in Cancer. So we've got, it was about the dates. It was, so we've got Mercury activating his own retrograde dates. It was February the 17th, to March the 10th that Mercury was retrograde. And March the 11th was the day that Mercury had just gone direct, and the president of the USA announced the travel ban and that the pandemic was exploding all over the world. It became known as a pandemic as Mercury station direct. So this is all being activated again as we see a massive rise in numbers. Okay, not just in the USA, they're starting to go up elsewhere again as well, but the USA is particularly bad at the moment, as is India and Brazil. And I'm kind of not surprised that the USA is, because we are heading into our Pluto return, and this is all associated with the USA too. Mercury is on the sun of the USA, which is at 13 degrees, and there's lots more activations from the US chart. So that's so the fact that Mercury is trine Ceres, I think, is very interesting. Ceres was conjunct Saturn, Pluto, the Sun and Mercury all at 22 degrees of Capricorn back on March the 12th as well. So, sorry, January the 12th, which is when really we began to hear about the pandemic and all the changes in the world. So I think Ceres being about grief and forgiveness, there's going to be a lot of thoughts about, well, kind of what have we done? How do we do this? There's going to be a lot of loss around, a lot of people isolating in Pisces too. Personally, I do not want to go anywhere right now because the numbers are going up so fast. So, and people are not taking precautions. So, but anyway, that's I find very, very interesting. As my own state, I haven't looked at everybody else's figures today, but I did share one on my Facebook for Texas with a massive increase. My own state, Utah, had its highest one-day increase ever. And that's not increased testing because they're actually reducing testing. So, but anyway, also with this morning, earlier we had Mars over here square to the lunar nodes from the anaretic degree of Pisces and the anaretic degree of the whole zodiac. Pisces is the 12th sign. It's kind of a conglomeration of all the signs. If you look through the zodiac, from Aries being the first, the pioneer, the most kind of pure and simple of the signs, most direct, and with Pisces being the most complex. Pisces also being the amniotic fluid, the time before birth, and the time before death. It's kind of when you're fading away as well. It's very Pisces. So this is a real major kind of turning point. A square to the nodes is always important. From the last degree of the zodiac is very important, and Mars is about to go into his own sign, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. And of course, we're being pulled to the North Node, which is how we communicate, how we talk to each other, how we listen to each other. It's also about local community, and of course, with the pandemic, we're all being drawn more into our local community because travel is restricted. So anyway, also just exact, in fact it was exact like 20 minutes ago, just 20 minutes ago ish, Jupiter over here was square to Eris, but we cannot separate really Jupiter from the conjunction with Pluto that's coming on the 29th. Eris is over here with Black Moon Lilith. So this is our shame. This is chaos and discord. Jupiter is expansion, but it's also the natural law in the sign of man-made law. And Pluto is the excavator of shadows and detritus and the corruption and all the sewer kind of our institutions. So this is a majorly disruptive kind of energy here. Also, though, on the other side, which doesn't show on my chart because I do not have it on this software, is another dwarf planet. Eris is a dwarf planet. Haumea is over here in Libra, and Haumea is the goddess of birth, and she represents rebirth. And in Libra, opposing this, I'm going to say that we are being asked to really figure out how to birth a new society, a new kind of political vision, because Libra is very associated with politics, a new justice. There's a lot of police reform bills out there and things like that. And in Libra, and Haumea is very busy over there in Libra and being activated. I can't remember exactly what degree she's at, but I do know she's very much towards this opposite point of Eris and Black Moon Lilith. So let me I meant to look before I started, but Haumea, I've got the oh, you're seeing my jiggly arms. So Incidentally, while I just look at this, I will tell you, I'm on the, I've been watching the conference in the Astrological Association in the UK. They went online this year because of COVID, which a lot of the astrology conferences are. And I've just been watching the most fascinating talks on there, talking about this age of Aquarius and the move into Aquarius that will really begin December and then end of 2024. There's another conjunction of Pluto, Venus, and Ceres at 0 Aquarius. And they were talking about, the changes that are coming, being associated with the great conjunctions moving into air for the next 600 or so years, primarily. And I've been doing intermittent fasting, and the energy of Aquarius with Saturn there and everything is very much about a bit asceticism and withholding and intermittent fasting. It just occurred to me that it's that there's all kinds of articles in this app that I signed up for intermittent fasting that says eat kind of like a hunter. So the only time you could eat if you're a hunter was when you'd caught food. So you had to fast for some of the time. People didn't eat 3 meals a day traditionally. So I'm adjusting the way I'm eating, and I am losing pounds. I'm feeling very good, feeling very energetic, which is how I can do this in Friday afternoon kind of dead zone time, which normally I'm on the sofa going, oh, I'm tired. Anyway, all that to say, we are at, I'm just looking at the date. Thought so. Okay. So on the 20th of June and at the 30th of June, yeah. Haumea is at 25 degrees of Libra, so she's exactly opposite this thing here. So we can't forget we've got these new dwarf planets. I really think the new dwarf planets, the discovery of them, there's quite a few now, but it started with Eris, the chaotic discord, okay, where her discovery meant that Pluto was demoted to dwarf planet and Ceres was promoted, and in 2006 they are bringing in the complete revolution, to my mind. Well, all this is very active this weekend. There might be big protests this weekend. There may be more disruption, but and the stock market's already down, things like that. So just know that this is kind of a big weekend with Jupiter squaring Eris, but it's not on its own. It may have been half an hour ago, 30 minutes ago, but Jupiter's on its way to exact Pluto again. Pluto and Eris just had their second square on June the 14th exactly. Eris is hovering back and forth over this. Haumea moves very slowly, shows she's over there at that 25, 26 degree mark for most of the rest of the year. In fact, she doesn't, by the end of the year, she gets to, she doesn't, she gets to 28 and then goes retrograde again because she moves very slowly. Okay, meanwhile, we also have the moon in Virgo, which tends to be a little bit worrying, but good at detail. Okay, and it's about how we serve and how we can be useful. Tonight, the moon is going to oppose Neptune, which is kind of bringing the mystical down to earth to be of service, and that's going to happen kind of close to midnight my time, so early in the morning for many of you as well. And then the moon will move into, before the moon moves into Libra, I'm going to just go forward and I will point again. The moon will actually oppose Mars, okay, before moon. So we've got Mars squaring the nodes, but then we've got the moon joining in the party to make a mutable grand cross. Now, this is mutable signs. This is change. The signs always go cardinal, fixed. So cardinal is the pioneer, starts things. That is Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn. Fixed signs kind of make that solid. The project's solid. So that's Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Then the mutable signs say, okay, time to change it up again before we move on to the next phase. And that is Gemini, Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces. So we have this mutable grand cross before Mars moves into Aries. That really kind of feels very pivotal. You know, the moon is our emotions, so we'll feel this big wave of change coming on Saturday to kind of move. There we go, that's almost exact now. So it's right at the end of Mars stay in this cycle around the whole zodiac before he moves into Aries. And saying that, then the moon moves into Libra. So I'll just talk about that a little bit. The moon moves into Libra and will automatically aspect Saturn. So then immediately you might feel a little bit of fear. Saturn blocks, saying all this change is coming, going, no, I want peace and harmony. I don't really want the change, but that's a short one. And then Mars moves into Aries at 7:45 p.m. And this is his own sign. This is the very beginning of the zodiac, the pioneer, real starting a new whole cycle. But not only is Mars moving into Aries, he is moving into Aries and he will be there for over 6 months because he's going to go retrograde in Aries. And he doesn't go retrograde in Aries very often. Now, I am going to do a whole Mars in Aries video, so I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to give you all the details now. So again, subscribe, hit the little bell to get notified when I upload that video, because it's I think this is a really important transit. But Mars in Aries, as I said, is the pioneer. He likes action, he likes movement, he likes directness, but he can be a little bit aggressive. Mars is the warrior, Aries is like I want it now kind of thing. So he's saying, let's take action on these changes that are coming, that this mutable grand cross is bringing. He's saying, I want it now. Aries is not very impatient. Aries is extremely impatient, and Mars rules Aries. So it's like, whoa, it's like gonna feel like a horse coming out of the gate going pow kind of thing. So if there's any protest tomorrow night, and I'm sure there will be because there's been protests every day, even if they're not reported on the news, there could be some strife over the weekend. And during Mars' journey through all this, he's going to square a lot of this Capricorn stuff. So, and of course, Mars will also come up to square some of these slower moving planets that are going to be in Cancer, because they're all cardinal signs. So we move back into this cardinal. We are going to start this change. We are going to bring it now. It could also mean, a bit more martial kind of energy, military, that kind of thing. But it also means fast change. I want it now, and it could bring a real increase in the pandemic again as well. So, there's all kinds of ups and downs going on. And back to the moon. The moon, late on Saturday night, will aspect Venus, who's newly direct. She turned direct on Thursday, and she's still at the same degree, but has moved 9 minutes or a bit more by the time. Yeah. So the moon will actually aspect that. And so, while we're in this Venus shadow phase till July the 28th, we are going over what's changed in our relationships and our value over the last 7 or 8 weeks, okay, while she's been retrograde. And then on Sunday, I was going to say we actually have a quieter day, but not quite. So we do have the first quarter moon. So the moon will move to 7 degrees, and this will be the first quarter moon. So we're now halfway between the eclipse that was at 0 Cancer and an eclipse that's going to be at 13 degrees Cancer Capricorn. Okay. First quarter is always a crisis in action. And again, it's in those cardinal or initiating signs. So we are really wanting to initiate change. And we're coming off a new moon eclipse, which is always a start, and we're going up to the full moon. So we're in this real building action phase. So people are wanting change, and they are wanting it soon, and they are assertive about wanting change. All right. Then, after the first quarter moon, we have Mars over here, still at 0 degree, aspecting retrograde Saturn. Now, often Mars is like go, go, go. Saturn is break. Well, this one is a crisis. This one is a sextile, which is an opportunity aspect. Saturn is also retrograde. I'm saying that this is more kind of clarity. This is more determination. This is more determination to bring in this new age, the new paradigm in Aquarius. And it's aspecting Saturn at that 0 degree of Aquarius that's going to be highlighted by the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction on December the 21st and the Venus-Ceres-Pluto conjunction that'll be on December the 7th, 2024. So it's really activating those points as we move into the astrological age of Aquarius. So that's I kind of like that, and that's happening just before 5 a.m. Mountain Time, Salt Lake City time. So that would be 2 p.m. in the UK. So we'll be feeling that really for most of Saturday into Sunday. Okay. Then the moon will aspect that retrograde Mercury and all these asteroids. So I'm not going to go through each of those. And so this is a square too. So it's highlighting this Mercury retrograde thing. It's both in air signs. So we've got a lot going on in our minds with these. Sorry, they're not both in air signs. Libra is an air sign. Mercury rules air signs, or it rules the air sign of Gemini. So it's kind of the mind anyway. That's what I was going to say. So, and it's at 11 degrees, that kind of gateway degree. But Mercury is retrograde, so it's kind of reviewing, reflecting, revisiting, all those kind of things, and it's in the sign of Cancer. So it's what makes us safe and secure. And I think that's actually it till Monday morning. So it's quite the weekend, kind of slows down a bit, and on Sunday, after the first quarter moon, it's more just kind of direct, let's get going, okay. Over the weekend, Mercury on Sunday night will conjunct Vesta. That's very focused, focus and commitment. What am I focused and committing to? And then on Monday morning, the moon goes void at 7 a.m. after squaring these two over here. And of course, what that means is, to go to Monday morning, is that Black Moon Lilith will have moved on because she moves very fast. I use the true. She's hither and thither, a bit wild as her nature. But the moon will be on Haumea. I talked about Haumea. And we'll be squaring Pluto and Jupiter and opposing Eris. And then we'll go void for much of Monday. So action-packed weekend. You might, Mars in Aries will feel a bit like whoosh. You might want to make sure you're doing some physical activity to burn off some of the energy, because it's I can kind of feel it coming already. So anyway, I hope you enjoy the weekend update. It's quite the weekend, quite turbulent again. We see the lead into it. We see that Trump has asked the Supreme Court to cut the Affordable Care Act, which would take. I don't think they will personally, but he's asked them to. The stock market's gone down. Everything's feeling very disruptive again. Pandemic numbers are exploding. So just stay safe out there, because it does feel very chaotic, and that's very Eris as well. She's goddess of chaos, and discord. So this is Louise Eddington from Cosmic Owl Astrology signing out, and don't forget to subscribe and like the video. Thanks so much. Oh, and look out for my Mars in Aries video to come.